vengeance. I am the Batman. I'm kidding. It's just me, Jeff, with the Jeff Vance Show. We have a crazy little part 2 of our encounter with Joey from Eat the Boot. It's coming up to you now. Why did he intro with Batman, though? Because we talk a lot about DC. Let me preface this with saying we love all superhero shows. We're going to pay money to see all the superhero shows. There's not one that we wouldn't watch. Comic books, we love them. I don't care what comic book it is. The fact that these graphic novels are getting recognition and getting to be on the big screen is fantastic. We even shout out Bloodshot at one point in this show. Yeah, so here's the thing. The preface here is just to let you guys know, this is probably our 3 and 4 out of our gigantic, just freaking delirium podcast. We started it earlier. Super Movie Showdown is the part 1 to this one, right? So watch that one first, and it leads right into this guy. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up and a pre thing, because I did watch it back, and I'm like, man, we shit on a lot of stuff. So just be warned. This is 2 delirious guys talking about things that that they're very passionate about. So bear with me. It's a good show. In addition to that, let me know what you guys think. I'd like to hear your thoughts on stuff. Maybe we made some points that you were like, you know what? Yeah. Or maybe we made some points that were like, you're wrong. Here's what happened. Tell us. We want to know. Put it right there in the comments. Got some big things coming up, big things in the work. We have some sponsorship stuff going on. Go like and subscribe to our YouTube page, because the more subscribes we get, the more likely we're going to be able to keep this thing going. Okay? Let's just say it's not paying the bills. Your boy's got to work during the week. Anywho, this is our good time with Joey from Eat the Boot, who will definitely be back. We had a lot of fun doing this. We drank a bang, and let's just say that if you're not moving when you've drank a bang, usually you drink those to keep you awake and keep you moving. But if you're rambling, you're going to keep rambling for hours on end. And that's what we did. So here's our good time with Joey from Eat the Boot. This is the Jeff Vance Show. And we're...
Spoiler warning for those that are going to watch Batman or something, or looking to watch Batman. These next 5 to 10 minutes are not for you. So skip ahead. We'll probably still be here. Skip ahead 10 minutes. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
Batman is Bruce Wayne. I said it.
Oh, guess what? Everyone knows.
Oh, sorry.
Including the bad guys in the Batman. Because he doesn't change his voice. He showed up at the same fucking place twice and was like, you know who I am? And fuck, dude. You come in the bat suit, you say that. Then you come as Bruce Wayne, you say the exact same thing.
Did you like the Batman? The film? Did you enjoy it?
Parts of it, yeah.
I think I'm where you are. I am definitely not a fan of the film. I always say there's a fine line between did I enjoy the theater going experience versus is that a good film? Yeah, I had a good time watching it. There were some cool fights. There were some interesting scenes. There were some neat little character quirks. I don't think it's the movie that it's being portrayed to be. I don't think it's this great retelling of Batman. It's not.
And this is where we're kind of similar. I walked into this movie with a $14 Batman cup I bought, a metal tin with Batman on it to put my Batman popcorn in. I had all the things. I was like, I'm ready to fucking consume Batman. Give me all the Batman.
My body is ready.
I just gave you $80 for this popcorn and Coke. I'm in. I have Robert Pattinson popcorn tin. I'm ready to watch this movie.
I understand. I can't piss for the next 3 hours. I get it.
I'm game. Give me 3 hours of a great movie. I've seen it in game. I would have took another hour of that. You could have fit Spider-Man on the tail end of that, and I would have been happy. And this is kind of where that plays into. Batman should have ended when they catch Riddler. That should have been the end of the fucking movie.
Yes.
2 hours. Right? That should have been the clip, snip, tuck, whatever. and then let the trailer crawl, and then at the end, then give me that little segment, the little segment where Joker and him are in the cell next to each other. That should be our teaser trailer, right? And if you haven't seen it yet, there's a clip of Joker on the internet right now. It's the best 10 minutes of the Batman. Never made the Batman. They cut it. Why? So they could have 2 end sequences back to back where Catwoman, and Batman break up.
I'm Catman.
He's Catman. I'm Catman. Where Catwoman and Batman break up, and she's like, "Come with me." He's like, "Nah." It ends. What does it do? It pans to a scene of them chasing each other and then separating again. They separated twice. They broke up at the top of the building. Then he followed her out.
You know what that felt like to me? When you run into somebody in the supermarket, oh, hey, what's up, Jeff, man? Hey, how's it going? Oh, how's the family? Oh, they're doing good, man. What you doing? You know, man, living a dream. Yeah, just shopping, just hey, about to get all my money, you know. All right, man, I'll see you later. I need some corn. Jeff's like, I need some corn, too. You run into each other at the corn, and you're like, do I talk to him again? Like, is it going to be weirder if we just stand next to each other?
So, hey, back at it, huh?
Funny seeing you.
More groceries, right?
Like they're like, funny seeing you here.
So terrible, dude. You could have cut that out and put the Joker scene in there. That Joker is creepy as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. Leave him in there. Never take him out of jail.
So their thing was, they were like, I can't remember what the director and all said, but they said something like, you know, which I agree. They're like, if it stayed in the film as it stands, it gives away too much, and it makes Batman look stupid because
he already looks stupid.
Yeah, but like, greatest detective ever. I gotta go ask this other guy for help because I'm apparently not the greatest detective ever.
He clearly isn't. If you saw the movie, Catwoman solved everything. She was there before him the entire movie.
Well, yet again, it was a great opportunity to prove. I mean, they talk about how this is basically like the first couple years he's done it. It's like
he doesn't have to be the world's greatest detective in years.
He's supposed to be the most cleverest guy in a bat suit at this point.
That's fact.
Yeah, not the greatest detective of all time. It's like, which again, I feel like they really underplayed Gordon. I thought he was good. He was great, but I felt like they could have did so much more with that character.
I didn't like Batman was hanging around with the cops the entire time.
Entire time.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, like first always.
All, this is year 2 Batman, and every criminal's scared of him for reasons, right? I'm guessing he's been beating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Maybe killing a couple.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
Definitely killing them.
Let's be honest. Some shit must have happened because every time somebody looks at his shadow, they're like petrified that it could be Batman. What is he doing to these fucking people in year 1? First of all, that's the first question. And the fact that he's doing all this vigilante shit when year 1, year 2, and he's hanging out with the cops, and all the cops are cool with him, but they're not cool with him, right? So how come they didn't arrest him ever? Nobody was like, I'm tired of this shit.
He gets like blown up, right? Knocked out. They take him all the way back to the precinct. They put him on a table. They're all in the room with him. Let's take his mask off now.
Look,
what did you do the whole way here? If I'm one of those cops,
manners, bro.
No, I'm snatching the mask right off the rip. Bro. I'm snatching the mask, putting it on. There's gonna be 8 TikToks of me going, "It's me, Sergeant Joey. I'm the Batman." It's gonna be all, and then I'm here with and I'm gonna grab his head, his passed out head, and I'm gonna go, "I'm Bruce Wayne."
Oh my gosh!
But instead, no. All right, guys, look, don't touch his face. We're gonna wait until Gordon's back around to stop us from taking the mask off. Yeah, but why? We can't just say, "Oh, shut up, Rick. We're just going to do it."
That one guy's voice was very annoying. You know who I'm talking about. You know who you are. I know you watched the fucking show, dude.
Now, all the bad stuff I could possibly say about it, because there was a lot I didn't like. There was a lot I didn't like.
Let me just add one more thing in it, then we'll hear your side of it. This is my number 1 problem with this fucking Batman movie. This is a year 2 Batman. This is Batman doing this for maybe 2 years. And guess what? His suit is invincible. That's right. You heard it. He can't die. He can't be blown up. Never gets a bloody nose. You can see for him in the fucking face. Not going to show. You know why? Because in 2 years, this young man has created an invincible suit that never falls apart. The entire movie.
And also deflects bullets from the entire jaw area, apparently. You just can't aim at that. Can't shoot him in the face.
Against a Gatling gun, huh? Was that like an M16 shooting at him? Yeah. No bullet's going to hit this area.
But later, when we need a shotgun to throw him back, it'll work pretty good for a little bit. Still not going to kill him.
Doesn't bloody his nose.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't cut his lip. The only time you see shit on Batman's face is when he's in the sludge. Like at the very end of the movie with the part of the movie that didn't need to be in the movie. Yeah, that part. That's when you see shit on his face. But the whole rest of the movie, nothing phases him, dude. And the problem with a Batman like this is you can't put him in Justice League because he's just as powerful as Superman, except he can't fly.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. He's got a squirrel suit.
Squirrel suit was so
anyway,
bad.
That's
so
it.
bad.
I just can't stand the fact that his suit didn't fall apart at least once. If the next movie has a new suit in it, I'm throwing the whole fucking movie away because there's no need for a new suit because this one's perfect.
Yeah, no upgrades, unnecessary.
No need. It's a perfect suit. Even has Venom in it. He's prepared for everything. That's my main problem. He shouldn't be invincible.
Also, the squirrel suit is literally just like a real world skydiving squirrel suit, the ones they use. I've never done it, but I've seen enough videos. I've watched enough YouTube breakdowns. I've seen people that do it talk about it. That's not a high enough starting point for that suit to do anything. You would hit the ground straight down, straight to the ground. Also, pulling just some wings that happen to be sewed, just going and having wings, that was less of a good idea to them than, yeah, there's enough internally in this suit that he can unzip a few things and literally blow up twice the size of what he... Where was this stuff? Where were this whole squirrel suit? Where was it at?
In his belt.
Sorry. All in the belt.
Batman.
Yeah. Now, look, that's the only way I could have accepted the squirrel suit. If he went, zzz, 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 whoop, Batman, and then jumped. Then I'd be like, all right, well, he said Batman.
He never... His vengeance.
Also, how hard can you hit a bridge with your entire face, body, torso, legs, and arms?
Suit?
Yeah. Well, he rolled 4 times. Guess he's okay.
He never broke his nose.
Also, as sound as the suit was, right? As invincible as it was, when you unzip it and you pull all kind of the filling out to turn into the squirrel suit, this doesn't compromise any of the protection at all.
No.
It's like suit just got weaker. Time to hit a bridge.
No, he's Batman. He's Batman.
It's
like that game. It's like, I win. How do you win? Because I win. What's the name of this game? I win. I can't compete with a child.
Also, definitely felt like that was the first time he ever used a squirrel suit. I'm like, so you just felt like, yeah,
figuring it out.
Time to use this tech.
I had it in there.
I planned to use this tech from literally the only highest spot, which he was in the precinct, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they have a police precinct that is 900 stories tall or whatever?
Well, what you don't know is there's 9 stories of cops, and there's 1 cop in each story.
Yeah, like I didn't even think of that till just now. Like as I'm watching the film, I'm like, wait. First of all, not only just why is there a skyscraper police department, but also for what they were doing with his unconscious body or whatever. Why did they, hey guys, get him to the 20th floor? No, you take him into the lobby, you go to the first available room, and then you talk to him. You put him in a cell. Like you just, like, why is there random cells on the 20th floor?
That's a good question. But also, if I was a cop, let's say I'm working for Gotham PD, right? I'm on the take. I'm in here like by my phone, looking in that room at Commissioner Gordon doing stuff like this. Here's Batman's face. I'm Commissioner Gordon.
What y'all saying in there?
I think you need to. Obvious as hell, dude. Come on. Who are we kidding? But yes, it's the best film in the world. Y'all are all right.
Gordon walks out of the room. All right, guys. He says he's not going to try and escape.
Guys, I think we're okay. I didn't just talk to him, but if I did. But again, the Joker scene is the best scene in the world, and it should have been in the movie. I shit all over that guy. Like when I first watched it, and all you see is him cackling with the Riddler.
Yeah.
That scene makes so much more sense if that Joker scene's in. Because if the Joker scene's in, he's seen the portfolio of the Riddler right in front of him. It also sets up the fact that when he gets next to him in a cell, he knows exactly what to say to get Riddler and him in a relationship.
Also, the whole thing surrounding this Batman film was they're going to do angles and things that just haven't been done in a Batman film before, right? We're doing the serial killer villain. We're doing the real detective style Batman. We're doing a Gotham that is run down in a realistic way. Like it's a struggling city. It's not like most of the Gothams you see where Gotham is like it's run down, but there's also like all these super elites everywhere.
There's no middle class.
Yeah. So they're supposed to do all this, but the one trope we are going to do is we're going to give you a little tiny Joker tease at the end. We've done that. We've done the little tiny Joker tease already. We already did that.
Well, here's the thing.
Give me too much.
Joker, though, I like the idea of this Joker already arrested. And if you just leave him in prison for the rest of Robert, whatever his name is, leave him in jail this entire fucking time and just have him kind of do his thing from behind a cell. I love it.
Just don't ever let him be a functional
Never let
villain.
him out. Never let him out. Like have his lawyer be Harvey Dent. You know what I mean? Have his lawyer come in there and be like, I've been assigned to your case type shit.
Well, it'd be great. So you do 3 of the Batman films, right? You give them a trilogy because that's what you do. And make me feel like make gaslight me. Make me feel like, is the Joker controlling some of this stuff from inside?
Yes.
But at the very end, in the third film, when it ends, do not answer the question. Do not give me closure. Let me never really know. Make me question if I'm questioning. Like, am I just believing? Am I picking things up and thinking he's controlling all this? And then end it and me just go, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know if he's just a dude like or not.
Me Joker. At the end of this, give me Joker. I don't know whether he's controlling shit or not, right? And so then we do the Lex Luthor thing, the body swap at the end. So they go to Arkham Asylum. Oh, speaking of having him arrested and inside the Arkham and all that shit, it's beautiful because that could start the budding relationship of a psychotherapist and her patient.
Yep.
So that could start a whole Harley Quinn thing, and her being whatever could end in that third act. She's gone, and then they go to talk to Joker with another case. Like, he's been helping. He's been so helpful. Go to hand him another folder, and the dude that turns around is fucking the Riddler. Do that. Where the Riddler's all fucked up.
How about Falcone's my dad? Bruce Wayne, whose father had a relationship with Falcone. Bruce Wayne knew they had a relationship because Bruce Wayne knew Falcone.
Yeah.
They'd interacted before. Even if he's not yet the greatest detective in the universe, in this particular universe, you didn't know that he had a daughter and you didn't do the research. You know you're going to go interact with him on this level. You know he's part of the plot. You know at this point, whenever he goes to see Falcone, he knows something's up, right? He's like, I need to go talk to this bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't figure out, like, as Batman, you don't think it's a good idea to probably know everybody that's related to this man? Like, you don't think you should figure out? Because, I mean, it didn't feel very secretive. She's like, just randomly goes up to his office and like, yeah, I need to see Falcone. And he's like, okay, I'll see you. Batman, who has killer surveillance skills, just no. And again, suspension of disbelief, but you didn't earn it. The film did not earn me wanting to ignore plot holes like Batman's too stupid to know that Selena Kyle is the daughter of Falcone. Like that seems like an also, why did she play coy about it and then finally go, you didn't know Falcone's my dad? It's like, yo, like about 40 minutes ago, you probably could have just offered up that information. Like, what embarrassment is going on here? Like, wait, you're talking to a man in a Halloween costume.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like, hey, look, I've never really told anybody this, right? And it might not affect anything, but
keep my dad's name out your mouth. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
We didn't know she had alopecia.
It's like,
we didn't know Falcone was your father.
But the worst guy in this whole city is my dad, just in case. I mean, I know you're like, you do the superhero thing, you're a detective also. If just squirrel that away, if that'll be useful to you later. But instead, she's like, let me wait until he loses all faith in me and doesn't trust me. And then she'll be like, oh, by the way, probably could have told you Falcone was my dad, and that would have cleared a lot of this up. But we're going to wait till now.
Mm-hmm. Because Batman.
Yeah.
With all that shitting on it I just did, that car scene is one of the best car scenes.
That reveal, the Batmobile reveal made it worth it. Like,
Batmobile reveal was fantastic.
Oh.
Colin Farrell was fantastic as the Penguin. That's Oscar-worthy performances right there. There was no moment where I saw Colin Farrell in that at all.
So this is a thing that's happening on the internets.
Uh-oh.
People, I'm trying to be respectful here because I think it's stupid as shit. Bigger actors are all over the internet. So I say all over, always the loudest voices seem like it's a bigger issue than this. Maybe it is an issue, but they feel as though a plus size role was taken away from
real?
Dead serious.
I'm very upset. I'm pretty sure I could be the Penguin.
Yeah.
Have you seen Danny DeVito? Have you seen me?
So, like, very upset that they took a person that isn't overweight in Colin Farrell and doesn't look like he ended up looking with all the makeup. Very upset that they took that role and gave it to someone that doesn't naturally look that way. What?
Who's upset? Fucking Kevin from Office Space?
Oh, I'll tell you who's upset. Plus size act. I don't even like say. I don't even. It's weird even saying it like that because it's like I'm just using the verbiage they want me to use. But plus size actors that are not getting roles in the Batman and making millions of dollars. Yes, I would also like a lot of things that make a lot of money, but
also got to be good.
Yeah, I mean they didn't
good kid.
They wanted Colin Farrell for the role. That's what they wanted. Like
they saw something in him that I had no idea he had in him because I've seen Bullseye on Daredevil, and I didn't hate it, but I knew it was Colin Farrell the entire time because he played Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was watching Colin Farrell in the Batman. It was
it was great. Even the language is like when he made fun of him for like saying L instead of L.
Yeah,
you don't even know what it means. Like, this is fantastic.
Like I've heard some people say that, like, oh, I could hear Colin Farrell in there. I'm like, you're a liar. I don't think you're saying a true thing.
He did enough of a job to sell it for me. He was great. I wanted more from Alfred. Didn't happen. Instead,
yeah, that was weird.
You just got fucking Robert Patrick just giving him shit every single time, which is depressing because it's like, come on, dude.
I don't think they needed to do a whole training montage or anything, but they really should have talked. They needed to give you more background on Alfred. Like, why is he such a hand-to-hand badass that was able to train? Because they imply that this is where Bruce Wayne learned to fight. They imply that he taught him. It's like, okay, he taught him how to fight. How did he teach him how to be a lethal weapon? Like, because he's not just like good boxer Batman. He's like beats everybody's ass in the whole movie Batman.
He's invincible.
Yeah, that's a very, very different thing. I also love how every henchman in this city, none of them have fighting skills, apparently. Like, where
not against a year 2 Batman.
If I'm picking up if I'm Falcone and I'm picking up henchmen, I'm trying to get some people. I'm going to the nearest like UFC gym. I'm going to the nearest MMA training place. Hey, guy, you want to do some nefarious stuff for $1 million? No, instead he's like, hey, guy working at the sandwich shop, you want to fight Batman?
You're really right. They had that one big dude. There was one big guy, and everybody else was a normal size.
Got to have one big guy. Always.
Always.
It's got to go to big guys. Got to get the role though. It can't be a small guy that they make look big.
Riddler guy was good.
Yeah,
I have no complaints. He did good.
Paul Dano, good actor.
He pulled off what he was going for, and his amount of smarm and crazy matched that world. What I would see like a weird, kind of like Batman, but without a cowl. Is pretty much what he was going for.
How do you feel about him basically being the Zodiac killer?
That's what it was.
I wish they would have went the extra mile and just pull a Quentin Tarantino, rewrite history or write history because they don't know who he was. Just making the Zodiac killer. Be like, yeah, in this world he's the Zodiac killer. Like have the so. This is what I would have had them do. Just you see some like newspaper clippings or something at the precinct or something, and see like headlines that say the Zodiac killer or something. Like have it look like that's how they were tracking. That's what they were calling him. And then where we pick up in the film, he's revealed himself to be the Riddler or be whatever, Which did they ever? He didn't ever actually call himself the Riddler in the film, right? I don't think so. I don't think they ever label him. Which just the same way they called Batman Vengeance, they could have easily just been like, "Yeah, this is the Zodiac killer."
It felt like a whole Sony MCU thing where it's like how they can't use Spider-Man in their opening credits. It felt like that. That was real shitty. But I didn't mind his performance. But again, it would have been so much better to have that Joker tie-in in the beginning. To where when he gets there and you hear him cackle laughing, he's literally becoming a stooge in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
Like this is the point where Riddler becomes, riddle me this, Batman. This is the point where he becomes the Joker with the Joker. That makes way more sense than if you just put him next to him. It's like, oh, we instantly hit it off. No, there's got to be a reason they hit it off. Not just we're both crazy.
I have trouble thinking things were great, even the things I like. I have a lot of trouble. So my favorite thing about the whole film was definitely the car reveal. I thought it was so good, but there's always a but. You see it kind of rev up, the light, it starts to glow, and you see it. And once you get the visual, he ifs him a little bit. Roll. Why? Why do we do the little bump? Like, I feel like once it fired up and you have made the car, like, there it is. Gun it. Like, just hit the juice, man. But instead they do this weird thing where, like, the tension built and then you broke the tension and then you, like, revved your engine like you're some high school kid about to race down 44. Like, what? Just juice that thing.
It was weird. I mean,
like, I loved it.
And that scene was too long. The part where he's walking, and he gets up to him, and then it shows Penguin, and then it just shows the window. Then all of a sudden, Batman's face. It's like, what is this? It's so stupid. It's like, where's Waldo for some reason?
Peekaboo.
Yeah, that was exactly it. It was like, did we cut? Because there's no way he thought they were keeping that in.
Yeah, like he leans over, riddle me this. I'm just kidding. It's me, Batman.
He said, oh, that shit's good. We're keeping that. That's good. We're still in with the Joker.
It was weird because that was one of the things that was really hyped before the movie came out. Like they were using it as a promotional tool. Oh my God. They were obviously paying people to say it on certain reviewers on YouTube and stuff like, oh my God, this is the best chase scene. This is one of the best car chase scenes you've ever seen in a movie. It was good. The beginning was good when they revealed the car. The end was good when he blasts through the fire. Everything else was just dark tires. It was I'm driving up. Things are fast.
It's not hard to do a car chase scene in the dark.
Exactly. It's a mediocre, noisy car chase scene cased with two cool things: a reveal and an explosion. There's got to be an explosion.
That's like if you watch any Transformer movie, those fight scenes in the dark. That's why they kind of work. It's because you ain't got to do much. You can just blotch it all out if it looks bad. Anyway, we love the Batman. We thought 5 stars.
I thought it was good enough to where if they good enough that if they green light a second one and they film it, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go see it.
It's
Yeah, I'll
green
go
lit.
see it.
They're gonna have like 4 or 5 movies, and I will go see it because I like some of it.
Yeah.
Like I really liked that Joker. I didn't at first because his laugh and shit didn't make sense. But if you watch that scene and then watch the rest of the movie, it feels like that Joker's trying to match the Riddler's energy.
Yeah.
Almost to like give him a sense of comfort where it's like, yeah, you can talk to me. Because then that kind of creates that I forget what his group is called, not the Brotherhood of Evil or something, but like the whatever faction that is, that's the Joker, the Riddler, Two-Face, the something of villains. Anyway, but yeah, you can do that. Keep that Joker in prison. I feel like he would be better serviced in prison anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we have auditions. Who's next?
Well, and it's probably the most obvious criticism I can make, but they could have that film could be 30 minutes shorter. Like it was too long. It was too long because I don't feel like they did anything with the length. They just kind of did the same thing over and over with the length.
That's what I said. And the reason I say that is because Endgame, like imagine you're watching Endgame, Tony does the snap, it dies, we get the funeral, then after the funeral, we go into the high school where Spider-Man's at, and they do the memorial thing for all the superheroes and stuff, and then it's him saying, like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, you know, and then all of a sudden Mysterio pops up, and we have this whole story arc with Mysterio. Then all of a sudden you see that, oh, he's become the new Iron Man. There's Happy. It's already, then the credits hit. That would not have been as effective if that was the movie versus a whole chunk of change in between where we could just wait and see the Spider-Man on its own. And that's what I feel like this movie did wrong. Like, if you would have ended it right at when they catch the Riddler and then roll the credits, Batman and her part ways. They go 2 different directions.
Twice.
Just once. We're just going to leave one in. Just cut it off at once. It's terrible. And then you just roll the credits, you know. Alfred gets out of the coma. That can be your first mid-tier thing. We'll cut that whole scene where he's pissed off at Alfred for not being his father. Or like lying about his dad. It's like, dude wakes up out of a coma. Like, Bruce, you lied about my dad. Huh? I can fucking kill you right now. I'll go back to the coma. You know, I wouldn't want to even be in that fucking room. Then he's like the Wayne cufflinks. He's like, you're no Wayne. Go fuck yourself, dude. Anyway, you leave him in a coma. He never wakes up out of the coma. Leave that whole chunk out. That meat and potato things, we'll leave that as a callback on the next Batman movie. Because there's going to be it's Batman 2. 2 sides of a Joker. Or 2 sides of the card. Whatever. And then we go into the thing, and the credits start rolling. Robert Pattinson, Batman, shows the symbol. Then it cuts to dark. Comes up. Joker sees Riddler next door. They start laughing with each other like little girls. It was a really awkward laugh.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at first, but like I said, now I know that he was matching his energy. I get it. It's okay now. I like you as an actor now. Even though you were in Eternals too. So I ain't holding that against you.
I feel like everything after, like you said, it should end after they catch the Riddler. Everything after the Riddler is caught is a build-up to a contradiction, because his whole deal the whole time, the whole reason that you slightly empathize with him, because again, they're trying to do the same thing they do. It's a cliche with villains in, you know, the post 2000s. Every villain you're supposed to go, oh, you got a point. His whole thing is, yeah, but the you know, there's no middle class. So all of us are getting the shit into the stick. I'm doing this because the poor people, the lower class of people are getting overlooked. We're getting abused. We're being treated badly by the system. So what I'm going to do is flood the city and force all of the elites into this one building so I can start shooting them. Also, it's the only place people are going to go. So also the poor people are going to go there, or they'll just drown and die anyway. So either they're going to drown, have a miserable death, or they'll get in here. Don't worry, we're just shooting rich people. Oh, they're not wearing signs that say rich people only, so we're shooting blindly at everyone. So we're probably killing poor people not only, but also women and children. We're just firing blindly. So it builds to a huge contradiction. And again, it's the same problem as Batman stupid, supposed to be great detective. Riddler, supposed to be extremely intelligent and have all kinds of forethought. Like, look, I was planning all these mad libs and shit. I forgot about don't kill the people I'm pretending to defend. Like, look, I was about to do that part of the whole plan, and then I was like, oh, it'll be funny if they find this thing I wrote. Like,
dude, add that to the fact that he had his own YouTube
streaming
channel. I was like, what are you doing? What is this? And if you read the comments on the side, it's like, oh, he got that at a wholesale market or whatever. I'm like, this is stupid. But again, I'll suspend disbelief as long as you keep me engaged. The minute the movie was over for me was that, like I said, once they caught the Riddler, then you had all this filler shit that was there for no reason. Trudging through water and stuff, being one with the people. I get it. He's a symbol of hope now, not just vengeance. Although he referred to himself as vengeance and not hope the entire movie. Suspend my disbelief. And then what happens is, would you stop? Cat's trying to come in the room, dude. Trying to do the show, man. Sorry. And, I'm in for it, but don't paint me into a point. It's like going to the movie theater with your kid. And they have the candy. So they're busy, they're occupied, but the minute they're out of candy, it's like they start looking around and bouncing in their seat and shit. And you're like, watch the movie, and they're like, my candy's gone. You keep the candy going, is what I'm saying. Give me little Easter eggs to watch for. Give me little things, something. Make something happen. Don't give me like 12 more Riddlers and then have a guy's mask get unmasked at the top and freeze on them. Like I'm supposed to know who the fuck that was. When did we go through that? Remember that? Towards the end where everybody's bombing everybody up at the top, he beats up this one dude, takes his mask off, and he's like, for no reason.
He was like, oh, you're just a dude. Yeah, they're all dudes. What just happened? What's going on? Is this a character I didn't notice at some point earlier in the film?
Yeah.
Are you suddenly just realizing that these are humans? What did you think you were beating the horse shit out of?
Right. These are these poor people that he's trying to save. You just beat the crap out. I'm going to throw you away, dude.
Are we talking about the Batman?
I wish. No. But again, I'm anticipating part 2 to see what happens, see the progression. I want to see more Bruce Wayne instead of Batman the entire fucking time. I don't want him so friendly with the police. Fix that.
Also, they did a lot of people like, oh, I didn't like the emo Batman or whatever. And the explanation or the excuse was, people are like, well, we've always got this, Batman was Batman, and then Bruce Wayne played the rich billionaire playboy. Like he put on a show, and people are like, yeah, this one, you understand that he's the same guy. Like Batman and Bruce Wayne are the same person. There's no reason to put on a fake. That's literally part of the entire point of the character is the mask is Bruce Wayne.
It's a duality.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne is supposed to feel almost nothing like Batman.
Yeah.
But they completely lost the plot there.
To sell that point would mean that they're not the same person. Because if you're in Gotham and there's some fucking crazy guy running around in an expensive looking bat outfit, flying around with expensive cars, who has more money than Bruce Wayne? Not many people, if any. Politicians for sure. But not many people, if any, have that kind of money floating around. So how do you separate Batman from Bruce Wayne? You make them two polar opposites. You give him all the personality and you make him stoic and vengeance.
That was another weird one. So they were at the funeral or whatever, and the car crashes in there, and he like just kind of disappears and goes like Superman phone booth style. Where was your suit? You didn't go far. Yeah, like he's like zip zip zip. Oh, squirrel suit. Sorry, put that back real quick. Okay, regular suit. Like, and look again, suspension of disbelief. It's all good, whatever. But he literally just like walked out of a back room that they were in. Like, where did you go outside? Did you have it in the car? Where were you? Because where did you get the suit? Like, where'd you get it, man?
And what car is it in? Also,
Yeah, like didn't they valet park his car? Like the car valet.
There's a fucking valet driver riding around with a Batman suit on right now as we speak.
Like,
this is fucking great.
Hey, this is Bruce Wayne. I'm gonna need my suit. You were wearing your suit, sir. No, the other suit. I don't know what suit you're talking about.
I didn't see anything.
Are you wearing my Batman suit right now? No.
You got a valet ticket? Because I don't think I parked your car. It might have been somebody else.
Like what? What are we doing?
Sending down the interstate.
Yeah, it's always a weird. That's people always feel like it's like, oh, you don't like a thing because it's not MCU. That's rarely true. It's usually just I either do or don't like certain things. But the comparison is there where it's like if you're gonna be dark and gritty and realistic,
quit.
You've already thrown away some of the suspension of disbelief. Like you're trying to do this hyper realism stuff, but you've got a squirrel suit. You've got a guy walking out of a room for 12 seconds and showing up as the Batman.
And he's invincible.
Yeah, you've got to do something. I really think that if they would have made him take more damage, like actual damage, it would fix a lot of the things in the film. It would fix.
I want the suit to fall apart when he took his suit off and you didn't really see any scars. I'm like, this bullshit. Also, Batman ain't got no scope. To year 2, Batman ain't got no
scars? Like he's only got one suit. Like, what's up with this?
Well, it's invincible.
He's a cajillionaire. Like
you don't need more than one.
Fair point.
It's not broken. It can't be broken. If an arm sleeve would have fell apart, even Catwoman put her suit in not this movie. I'm talking about the real Michelle Pfeiffer. When she was Catwoman, she put her shit together with big fat stitches, right?
Yeah.
And that suit was fucked up by the end of the movie. Like it was ripped up, coming apart at the seams. Even your boy Ben Affleck, he took knives to his whatever this is. He took knife damage. I think at one point he did get shot. Somebody stabbed him in the leg once too. Just make him get hurt a little bit.
You know something that just now bothered me that didn't bother me until now because I didn't think about it. I was like, well, the one thing I did like about the film was the car reveal. That was really cool. They teased it the whole time. You only saw it under the thing. Why was it covered indoors? Why was the car covered indoors?
He didn't want Alfred knowing that it was his.
What's that? Is it a car? No, horse. No. It's a horse. That horse is being mighty still. It's a dead horse.
What is that under there? Vengeance.
Yes.
Vengeance. Anyway.
Look, I'm very glad that when you started down this road, because we didn't even talk about discussing this. You just kind of came on over. I was like,
we sure didn't.
Right when you said it, I was like, I hope you didn't like this pile of shit because it's one of those films that the hype leading up to it and then it coming out the week it came out, it's almost like you weren't I'm not gonna say not allowed. You can say whatever you want, but it's like there's instant backlash for not liking this film.
Oh, I got attacked.
It turns into, oh, that's edgy, or not liking things doesn't make you interesting. Hey, you know what else doesn't make you interesting? Thinking that I can't dislike things you like. Shut up.
Yeah. I wanted to like the movie. Like, I don't pay money to go hate a movie.
Well, look, Wonder Woman 84, I hated it. But I know people that liked it. They said I liked it. I said, look,
they're wrong.
So I go on to Facebook. I'm like, hey, this movie sucked. Blah, blah, blah. Say some things. They come on my thread and they start talking to me about it. I'm like, trash, trash, trash. I stick to what I'm sticking to. But then I tell them, I'm like, look, my goal isn't to make you dislike things you like. That's why I'm not on your post where you said I loved it. My kids loved it. And I didn't comment below that and go, well, your bloodline is stupid because this movie's trash. I took my opinion where my opinion goes, and then you engaged me on my post. So you're an idiot. this movie sucked. Stop lying to yourself. I didn't come into your world and go, oh, you liked that? How's it feel being stupid, asshole?
Look, hey, sometimes they need to fucking know. Put them
Sometimes you got to just put them on notice, huh?
And if we're talking about this, we're going to talk about this. Because here's how it goes. The Batman was better than Morbius. Morbius, better than Wonder Woman 84. Dude, oh my gosh, where do I begin?
I can't disagree with you because I hated Wonder Woman 84.
Wonder Woman 84. Spoilers, it's fucking terrible. Watch it for 10 minutes, then turn it off. That's the best thing you can do. The first scene where they show her as a little girl doing the training and going through and doing all that, fan-fucking-tastic. I was there for it. I loved that shit. Then they leave from there and they go into the mall. I love the mall scene. The mall scene was great. She's doing Wonder Woman shit. She's throwing the lasso. She's catching the villains. She's winking. Very Linda Carter.
Yeah, they set up some cheese. They did some callbacks.
That's where she lives. That's just do that. Just do that. And what do? Not that. They did all that big lead in with the old her as a child, and they moved into the mall scene, and they did that whole mall scene. These are two different movies, by the way. The first segment is like serious Wonder Woman. Also, my number 2 favorite DC movie of all time is Wonder Woman. That was a perfectly made movie. I couldn't have asked for a better movie. If I had to compare Wonder Woman and Captain America, one of those is going to win. I'd go Wonder Woman over Captain America. For sure.
Which is both, they're the same film.
They're the same film. They're literally the same film. The only difference is Wonder Woman didn't get frozen. She just had time to adjust because she lives forever. Mall scene was great. Ended with like giving the little girl hope that she could do whatever she wanted to do type thing. I'm like, cool. I'm all for that shit. My number 1 DC movie of all time, though, goes to Snyder Cut Justice League. I like Snyder Cut. Before I go back into Warmer, what's your favorite DC movie?
We're talking modern DCEU, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, favorite is hard because it's that's a relative term.
It's not a long list.
Oh, probably.
There's no wrong answer, by the way. I don't freak out.
Man, I really like Man of Steel.
No, solid choice.
Yeah, I like Man of Steel.
Cavill is a solid Superman.
I think they tried to set up a universe and a style of film that they completely abandoned, and they shouldn't have. They should have stuck to their guns on it. They should have either stuck to their guns or said fucking reboot. do I feel like there's like 5 points in the DCU timeline, like timeline as in putting films out in real time, where it's like, you want to reboot? We're gonna reboot. No, we're gonna keep going. You sure? We can reboot right now. No, okay, all right.
Cavill says he'll do another one. So
yeah, I mean, I
that's what it felt like.
I loved it. They pushed the boundaries. They did things to the character that pissed off hardcore fans and stuff. I loved it. They really dissected what the DC was going to be, and they made it its own thing. There was no attempt to be what other superhero films were being at the time. They were like, hey, we're going to do our thing. And then they were like, hey, what are we going to do for part 2? I don't know. Let's bring Batman into it. Okay, cool. I guess we could bring back and Wonder Woman. So I was on board with the Batman, and then we could tease the rest of the Justice League. So I'm just coming around to the other things really? That's what we're gonna,
dude.
That's what we're gonna do.
I didn't hate it. Like it was way different from what I wanted, but at the same time, it's kind of like when you want spaghetti, but you're in the mood for angel hair, and they bring you regular spaghetti, and you're like,
you talking about Batman versus Superman?
I'm talking about just that whole Snyder chunk between Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and
I feel like it's you want spaghetti, but they know they've only got lasagna in the back. But while they're slowly walking towards you with the lasagna, 7 people run out. 1 has Alfredo, 2 of them have pizza, somebody's got breadsticks, and they all cram them on the table at the same time. And you're like, this is kind of delicious, but I don't know why. And some of this stuff isn't even things I like.
I would not be mad if I'm at your restaurant and you run out of something and you bring me 5 random things. I'm going to eat them.
So
maybe in one plate.
The deal with the actual Snyder cut for me, why I didn't love it, is it fixed some things and it did away with some things that were okay in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kept a few things. It was a whole different movie. Like
oddly enough, yeah.
And then I feel like they didn't have enough faith in the vision. I feel like you get all this buildup that, if they wouldn't have had Whedon in on it and it wouldn't have went to shit, we'd have released this Snyder. The Snyder cut was great. This is what the fans want. So we just need to release that. The internet for like 4 years was like, let's get it. Let's get it. They're like, we want this. All the actors are like, we want this. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's behind us. Oh my God. We feel it building. It's building like the Deadpool leak. We're actually going to get a thing that the internet wants. Okay. We've got it. They love it. They want it. Here it comes. By the way, we filmed an extra scene that's going to be way cooler than most of the things that actually happened before. And then people are going to only talk about that. And we're going to kind of allude to the fact that we did reshoot this and it's a new thing. But then we're going to kind of act like, but it was an idea all along. We're going to kind of do it. We just didn't do it yet. So now we finally did it. But it's got things that are obviously things that wouldn't have existed if we released it when we released it. So here you go.
Yeah.
The apocalypse scene was stupid because it was so awesome. Because I was just like, this is great. And they're like, by the way, you remember how we said we had all this stuff filmed? I mean, not this. We just did this to try and redeem our terrible Joker from Suicide Squad and give you more Batman because that's what people want. That's what we did. We just went, again, it's spoon feeding. I felt like they were like, hey, you're too stupid to just take what you wanted. You wanted the Snyder cut. We don't think that you're going to accept our offer. So we're going to give you a little more. We got to give you a little. We know you wanted you wanted to sit and watch the movie and you wanted the popcorn, you wanted the large drink, you wanted some M&Ms, you wanted to put some snow caps in your popcorn. You wanted all that. But again, just like a child running out of candy, hey man, give them a couple airheads too, just in case they get bored.
That's exactly what it is.
It was dope. It was dope. I mean, it's very situational why I hate on it. I didn't like that they fought all that time to uphold the integrity of this Snyder cut. Like it's this mythical thing. And then you felt the need to add to it. You added to it because even what it was then wouldn't have stood up to time. It wouldn't have stood the test of time because you felt like it needed something new. It needed more things. And I'm just like, Then why wasn't that in the original Snyder cut? Because you didn't have that idea at that time.
It was a honey dick. It was a honey dick, but it was a Snyder honey dick, and I feel like I think I see what he wanted to do. He was like, "Y'all wanted this, cool, but if we can throw a couple extra movies on the end of this, I'll show you what it could be. We could maybe do something like this."
But see, also it comes. I hate when they just outright lie about things. Like he said, yeah, we're going to leading up to the actual release of the Snyder cut, Snyder's like, yeah, we're going to release it, but we're not doing anything else. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I don't care how good it is, how well it's received. We're just done with it. I tried to do the thing. I'm just going to give you what you want. Then why did you film more stuff that's literally awesome? Like the apocalypse stuff was so awesome. And you've already said on record 15 times that you're not going to do more. So why film teasers? Why tease us with more things?
Because he wants to do more.
Yeah, because 7 vacation homes are better than 6,
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is silly. I do think it's patronizing to the fans. It's patronizing to people that just wanted what you had. We just want what you got. And he's like, well, let me give you a little more because I need to use you as my pawns to get the studio to give me more money.
For sure, because we were at work the first time.
It's this weird thing where I feel like all of the people supporting it and really fighting for the Snyder cut to come out, they felt like we're in this together. It's we're the fans. Snyder's with us. Like we're backing him. When at the end of the day, Snyder was like, hey, my team, make sure to keep an internet presence. When you see it die down, bump it back up. Keep the chats going. Keep the message boards firing off. I'm gonna go film other things. Continue to be a Hollywood elite, making a ton of money. And then whenever they finally let me release this crap, they'll just eat it up anyway. So who cares if it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years?
Oh yeah.
Like I never at any point from the first time that they had the first release the Snyder Cut like blow up hashtag. It was about, it was about what, like 6 months after the first release of the original Justice League film. Right when that first explosion happened, I was like, this is getting released. Now, did I lose faith throughout the subsequent years and then finally it did come out? Oh, sure. At one point I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. But there was definitely a point early on where people were like, oh, we're going to get this at some point because they're telling you it's all been filmed.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how much they left on the cutting room floor. That's what's wild to me. Like, you threw away a whole ass film.
Yeah. And they wonder why that Ray Park.
Yeah.
They wonder why he got pissed. How come you got mad? They cut you out the entire movie.
Which is another wild thing. Like all of this vitriolness on set stuff comes out 4 years later or whatever, or like 2 years later. It was already, there was whisperings about it, but it's like, it's so weird that things that would support green lighting more things now you're going to be very vocal about it. It's like, I mean,
it's,
I enjoyed watching it. It was a fun event. It's one of those rare things that, it's only going to happen a few times in a generation.
Where the nerds win.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we would really like that if we could make that happen. Or if, it would be crazy? If the next, here's a good question. What would your next petition be? Like if you could petition to the movie studios about the comic book movie on DC or Marvel for it to happen or to get a revamp, what would it be?
Okay, so there's two.
Okay.
One of them I don't need, but my curiosity is just through the roof on it. So we talked about Ant-Man, right?
Uh-huh.
Wasn't that originally Edgar Wright was doing Ant-Man?
Yeah.
I'd love to see his cut because I'd love to see why they parted ways, because they said it was creative differences.
Mm-hmm.
If it's creative, it means they didn't want to go as Disney happy fun time. That there had to be some things he wanted to do that were wild.
For sure.
And with being able to the prospect of that technology in that film, horrifying thing. I mean, whenever he shrinks old guy into a glove of goo, that's pretty horrifying when you watch. When I was watching it the other day, that scene happened. I was like, God, every time I see it, it just makes it seem more like
wipes him up.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. I feel like Edgar Wright probably had some things that just made it just more intense.
Turn him inside out.
Yeah, I'd have loved to see whatever. Even if he didn't go super wild with it, I don't know what he would have wrote differently or why they. I'd love to see what that was, because that was the first big one where people were pushing to see a different cut. They were like, we want to see Edgar Wright's cut.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that I think is necessary, I would love to see what would have been done with the Fantastic Four had studios not been involved with the second half of the film. It felt like legit body horror for the first half. When Mr. Fantastic's like stretching, he's freaking out like, what is going on with my body?
Yeah.
That could have been so cool if they'd just keep that energy.
Talking about the new one?
Yeah, the most recent one with Michael B. Jordan and all is.
Yeah.
But like the prospect of that being a horror movie is such, again, mesh anything with horror, and it is a cheat code.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the idea of Johnny Storm. Let him be the playboy that he is in in a lot of the comics and in the older films, and give me a scene where he's out on the town, he's got women, this and that, and there's a scene, and have him accidentally somehow light up and like kill a woman or something.
Supernova.
Yeah, like
in a restaurant.
Yeah, give me give me this
instead of whatever, and the chef in the back is like giving him shit about it. He's like, what?
Even if just he loses his temper, grabs somebody, and while his fists are tensing up, they light up and it just burns somebody. Not like a, oh my God, I burned him. It's funny. And now we're going to do a thing next scene. Have him like 3rd-degree burn, ruin somebody's life and just like deal with that. And then have Sue deal with not knowing if she's going to be seen. Like the, you know, those funny things they'll do. Sometimes it's not very funny. It almost feels like child abuse when they have those YouTube videos where they cover the kid and they're like, we're going to do a thing and make you invisible. And the kid freaks out. Yeah. Imagine if you're an adult human that goes to space, gets somehow washed over with crazy vibes and yeah, you're invisible. It's like, that would be freaky. Like, let's see that play out. The only character that they really kind of held true to was Thing. But then again, even at the end, it's clobbering time. We're the fan. They even said something like alluded to saying Fantastic Four. He's like, yeah, we're the great such and such. He's like, no, he's like,
doesn't have a ring to it.
Yeah. So, and
that's a good one.
I knew a few people that, you know, did, because they filmed so much stuff in Louisiana in the last 10, 15 years because of tax stuff and all that. I don't remember why, but we got a bunch of Hollywood films. I know a few people that did extras work on Fantastic Four and stuff, and they all the same stuff. They're like, yeah, I heard this and I heard that, and it all circles back to that was a totally different film for the second half, and then the studio gets involved and goes, we need to superhero it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they filmed it otherwise. I think even the Doom stuff, they said like they shoehorned it in to have a villain, to have a focal villain, and it was really more about the actual team, the characters. Like there wasn't this big villain fight at the end. It was more, again, it was more exploring it. It was an origin story that didn't have to culminate in a superhero movie, which could have been really cool. I'd have loved to see that. Even if I'm completely wrong and I'm misquoting and misremembering all this, that's what I would want to see. I want to see them give that movie a chance as a body horror film. And I'm not a writer, so I can't write it. But like, it doesn't have to be all horror. It can end up being a superhero film, but write it better than they wrote it. Whatever they did was just...
It was a rough one. I don't remember much of that movie. I just remember the whole idea of didn't at one point they give all the powers to one person or something?
Yeah,
what the fuck was that?
I don't remember. I don't even remember the film because it gets so bad. But I remember there's a scene where I guess like Ben Grimm is like somehow working with the government, and they have him like, I don't even know if that ended up in the film. I knew it was in the previews. He jumps out of like a helicopter or something and just like plows into a scene where he's like supposed to go and do whatever he's supposed to do. It's clobbering time or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, I'd love to see him like embrace that he's just a big killing machine or whatever. So he's doing work for the government. Have him jump out of a plane, plow into whatever the target is, stand up and realize he just killed a bunch of people on accident. Like, I didn't land where I was supposed to land. Find out that you landed exactly where they wanted you to land. You did exactly what you were intended to do. You just got played. But they didn't do any of that. They were just like, hey, I know you were really scared like 20 minutes ago in the movie, but superhero pose.
Yeah, I need you to change it.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be my two big ones. Because everything else, it's either so far gone, it's so like the Eternals. It's so far, it's not even worth wanting to see a better version for me.
Well, I would like to see the Nicolas Cage Superman movie.
Let's go. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Wow. That was bizarre looking. Just seeing him in that suit.
Oh yeah, the suit
with the long hair and shit.
Did they ever come out with a movie that was like a documentary about the making of that film?
I think they did.
I never saw it.
I know what you're talking about, like the death of Superman or something like that.
Wasn't that was that a Tim Burton film? Is that who was supposed to direct? It was Tim Burton.
Tim Burton was going to direct. I think Kevin Smith was writing it.
Oh, that could have been so good. That could have been so good.
Hey, who knows what the fuck it would have been, but there's that, and not necessarily comic book related, but the kind of comic book related. Kevin Smith was greenlit to do a Howard the Duck TV series. It got canceled because Disney bought him and everything, and it got shuffled.
Did you watch any of the DC television shows, the WB ones?
All of them. I watched all of them.
Kevin Smith did some episodes, or an episode, or some episodes of the Flash.
Flash. He did some on Legends of Tomorrow too.
And he's good. Like,
yeah,
man, that's another thing. I never could get on board with. It was very weird that they were ramping up the DCEU and the WB stuff at the same time, because I really prefer Grant Gustin Flash over Ezra Miller.
Well, never say never. Yeah. Ezra Miller's fucking shit up in Hawaii, so he had a bed and breakfast, and he was accusing the people of stealing his stuff, and
which
he went to a bar also, I think 2 days later, and they were having karaoke, and he started yelling profanities and kicked the girl out.
Yeah. Well, so I'll tell you something. This is a big shift of gears, but we talked about the MCU. We talked about the DCEU. They're both becoming slowly irrelevant in the grand scheme of superheroes, because we've got The Boys. We've got Invincible. We had Jupiter Rising, I believe it was what it called. I can't remember.
Yeah, canceled.
Yeah. I was bummed that they got canceled, because I thought it kind of sucked the first episode, and then like as I got further, I was like, wait a second, this is actually good. And then it canceled. I was like, oh. And then of course, like I became familiar with. I didn't read it. I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like, yeah, I love the comics. I had never read the comics, but then I went and looked them up and looked up some of the plot. I was like, God, they could have did some really cool stuff with that. It was going there. They weren't.
Yeah.
I think that the best thing going for superheroes in pop culture, like as far as getting greenlit, getting in front of the most eyes, I think Invincible that's the money. Like, to me, it's gold. They're staying so true to the comics too.
He was doing Invincible before Walking Dead, but
so I don't know if do you give a spoiler warning for Invincible? Is it that recent? Look, if you haven't seen Invincible, spoiler warning.
We're spoiling every fucking thing today.
So 3, 2, 1. Here come the spoilers. That fucking bus scene was so intense. Yeah. That is
everybody's favorite.
So my older brother was asking me how it was, and I was like, "Oh, dude, it's really good. You got to see it. It's great." I said, "Look, you're gonna kind of get a little bored in the first episode, and then it's gonna ramp, and then you're gonna get to the end of the first episode, and it's gonna make you want to watch 1,000 more episodes of it. You're gonna be like, I don't know what happened to my brain just now. Shit just got real." I said, "But then something's gonna happen later." And so I was like, I don't remember what was happening. My brother was like, he was like off that day, so he was gonna binge it. I said, "John, when it happens," that's my brother's name, John. I don't just call him somebody else's name. I said, "When it happens, text me." He goes, "When what happens?" I said, "When it happens,
you'll know.
Text me." I said, "Yeah, you're gonna know what happens." About like, it's like middle of my work day, I'm doing something. Bing, mother, and I'm like, "Yeah, boy," I called him. I said, "Bus." He goes, "Bus."
So insane.
Because the way I explained it to you, he was asking me about the show, and I gave him as much as I could without spoiling anything. And I said, they do one thing, because he was asking about it being animated, because he was really into The Boys. I said, yeah, it's similar to The Boys. It's got that brutality and stuff. I said, but as brutal as The Boys is, I was like, John, they do one thing. There's one scene that I don't think you could do in live action. I said, I do not think they would get away with doing a live action version of it. I feel like it would be too brutal.
There's an Invincible live action greenlit. Seth Rogen's attached to it.
Do not feel like you're going to get that bus scene to the degree that it needs to be done. Scene.
Hell no.
I
don't know. If it's on Amazon, they might do it.
To the degree that it needs to be, like,
it's such a resonating scene with Invincible, though.
Oh yeah,
like if they're going to do a live action, it's probably
it was the point in the show where it took me out of animation. Like I was like this just felt horrifying.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I'm watching a cartoon. Oh no.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's and I mean, look, that's another one. I am familiar with the comics like intimately, and there's so much. The fact that they went, that's why I'm so excited about future seasons of it, because they went as hard as they should have went with the first season. Like
they did both.
Yeah, they weren't like, we'll see. They didn't test the audience. They said, look, either you're going to eat this or you're not. And we ate it up. Everybody ate it up.
Yeah. I had people like, what are you watching? I was like, Invincible. Watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's only the beginning, because Kirkman's attached, and apparently they're doing any series he wants at this point.
Man, I'm sure you've heard this story. It's probably super well known now, but you're talking about The Walking Dead, which I gave up on a long time ago. But he said, like, when he had his initial meetings to get the AMC show made,
yeah,
they wanted like aliens or something. They said, yeah, we want it to turn out to be aliens. And he tells me, yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's going to end up being an alien thing. It's not really zombies. And he basically was like, yeah, I told them that, and we're going to make the show. And once it does well enough, they can kiss my ass. There's not going to be any aliens. He's like, so once they're like in the 3rd season or whatever, they go, so when are we doing the alien thing? He's like, we're not doing that shit. What are you talking about? They're like,
coming. It's coming.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, we're already in this, I guess, and people love it. So good call.
Yeah.
Which is like, this is like the most G move ever. But yeah, I mean, but that means, and I'm probably overlooking some, Umbrella Academy is another one that's pretty good.
That one wasn't bad.
But there's
it's about to get sketchy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know if you read about that.
I read a little bit about it. It's one of those ones where, like, I didn't even know if the 2nd season was going to get made, and suddenly it was out. I feel the same way about the 3rd season. Like, one day it's just going to be out, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll watch this.
But Elliot Page is supposed to come out
like
in season 3.
In
the show, and I'm like, shouldn't need to. She already had like a relationship,
right?
Like, if things change, totally okay with it. You don't have to pronounce it, or I mean, they're gonna know.
Yeah, you don't have to play yourself.
You grew up. Well, even in Umbrella Academy, you grew up with these people.
Yeah.
They know who you are. And we, smart audience members as we are, we understand what's happening too. It's like, don't coddle. You don't have to. The guy has a gorilla body and a human head.
Which would be the more ballsy move, to not coddle.
Yeah.
To just be like, this is the tea, you fucking drink it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pun intended. Tea.
But speaking of the guy with the gorilla arms, did you see the most recent, like, really under the radar released Resident Evil film?
No.
Man,
Welcome to Raccoon City.
Let me tell you, if you
like
like the games, which I don't play video games, but I know enough about them, and I knew about video games back when those came out. They essentially lumped together like the first 2 or 3.
And it cuts between the 2 different areas.
Yeah, it's a very mishmash of the first and second Resident Evils. They do a lot of things shot for shot, a lot of things that happen in the house.
That's cool.
It's one of the most comic video game accurate video game movies. Like, you feel like you're in a video game world. They don't try and hyper real. Like, I like that. They commit to the audience knowing that, oh, this is based on a video game, so we want some silly video game shit to happen. And it's pretty entertaining. It's surprisingly entertaining. Again, not saying it's a great movie,
right?
But it's a fun ride. And he's in it. He plays. I'm not gonna say who he plays in case you ever watch it, but he plays a very prominent character in the series.
Chris Redfield?
No, he's well, I will say it. He's Wesker.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
that makes sense.
Yeah, but he's like, you get the backstory of Wesker. Like, it's a lot more in depth. There's a few silly things, like they have the Nemesis looking character, and he evolves really. It's not Nemesis, it's a different one, but he evolves really fast. And I wasn't a big fan of that. Like he goes from like
build up, really.
Yeah, he goes from like, I got stabbed with a thing, I'm angry, to I've got 4 heads, 85 eyeballs on me, and a giant claw in like 12 seconds. It's like, all right, that probably would have took a little longer.
Yeah.
But again, it also feels the way it would in a video game. You'd get to that scene and like, hey, boss fight, all right.
Right.
So it's very cool in that, and just there's like 3 or 4 phenomenal jump scares, which a lot of people hate jump scares. I feel like they have their place. Like, I hate jump scares in a good horror thriller. It's like, this is a horror thriller. The tension's what's really good about this. That's what makes it scary. If you say, hey, viewer, jump scares are coming, that's the kind of movie this is. Good, I want good ones. It's got good ones. It's got one that might be one of the best jump scares I've ever seen, actually.
Well, I'm down.
But
I'll
yeah,
check it out.
check that out. I definitely think it sets the tone for which
You seen Halo?
I haven't. I've heard it's all right.
Nope.
No, not all right.
Nope.
Not that bad. What's it's on Paramount?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Paramount.
All I'll say is, you remember watching the first episode of Smallville?
Mhm.
It's like that, but guys got Halo outfit. Like, the acting is that good. Like, it in 2022, it shouldn't feel like it's outdated.
Yeah.
And they missed the window anyway for Halo.
Yeah.
This should have came out 5, 10. Looks like it should have came out 5 or 10.
What are you gonna do next? Gears of War.
Dude. What's next, Atari? You're gonna come out with fucking Pong the movie? But it's just,
Yes, they probably will.
that would probably be a good movie though. I liked Battleship. I know we're talking about Rihanna. That was a goofy ass movie, but the fact that like at the end the only people that saved the day was the old veterans, and they had to come out of retirement and strap up fake legs and shit.
I'll tell you the like roto bomb ball things that they kept shooting off the spaceship would shoot those. It looked like big gear balls.
Yeah.
Those were cool as shit. They also were what I think directly inspired the big Destructo gears in Infinity War.
Uh-huh.
Like right when I saw those things in the movie, I was like, that's those things from Battleship. They just made them look different.
Yeah. I don't know. I dug it, but Halo's terrible. It's like if you, I think it's dude, trying not to say. I mean, this is definitely a spoiler fucking episode, but like within 5 seconds, dude takes his helmet off. We see Master Chief within 5 minutes of the fucking show,
which is like literally one of the core tenets of the character is like, don't take the helmet off.
The very last game, all you see is the back of his head.
Yeah.
So all we know is his haircut. That's the only thing we ever knew for the video game. This instantly. But with that being said, the guy that plays Master Chief ain't his fucking fault. It's a big fucking turd. All of the CG is terrible. All of it. There's no redeeming qualities in the CG.
Like they probably would have done better just making an animated film with the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, an animated Halo film, sure, why not? Didn't see a Halo at all for the whole movie, for the whole episode. I have no idea what a fucking Halo is on here. I know it's a different story. They're just taking the core elements and making a whole new show.
Then why do it?
That's a terrible idea. First of all,
didn't they learn their lesson with Final Fantasy, whatever the shit, 25 years ago?
Enemy Within, I think it was called.
Didn't Ben Affleck play one of the voices or something for it?
I don't know, but I liked it. But it wasn't a.
It had nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
Right.
It was just like, yeah, we're gonna call this, and then when you go see it as a fan of the video games, you're gonna be like, why did you call this?
Yeah, it was terrible. But if it would have came out in 2022, being called Final Fantasy, Doria's going to the doctor or something, I'd still go watch it, and I'd hope they'd have a popcorn tin. But yeah, Halo's a big fucking turd. The suit looks great. But also, I don't know.
It just seems like such an easy thing to make. And look, I use easy loosely. I don't know how films work, but with the films that have been accomplished and executed well, it seems like with the Halo mythos, with the whole, just all of the lore for Halo, it's like simple film in there. Just grab and go.
It's ripe for the taking. It's like, okay, you're just a dude. You never have to take your helmet off. You don't need to hire an actor. Hire a voice actor. Hire a fucking Mandalorian to do the damn voice.
I heard somebody say the characters sound very similar to Pedro Pascal in the Mandalorian outfit. And it's like
totally intentional.
That's weird.
Yeah.
We're gonna capitalize on this.
And right from the get-go, they give you the MacGuffin, right? So it's like they don't tell you all the story or whatever, but like he shows up. Master Chief shows up, and immediately they're like, oh, you got to take care of this girl. So I'm like, I feel like I've seen this before, but much better done. And again, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Just make them go shoot shit. There's aliens. Go shoot the fucking aliens. Also, the aliens look terrible. They they look terrible, but their movements straight out of the video game. The frame rate is so fucking terrible. It's why not do stop motion animation, Halo? Fucking, you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. But they're like, rawr. And I'm like, bruh. Men in Black had better graphics.
It's weird because I feel like if I were sitting in a room
We're
with
two
people,
fucking angry people.
Look,
all we've done is shit on shows.
I'm just so glad that I found somebody that dislikes all the things I dislike.
Look, we didn't even go back to Wonder Woman 84, but we will. We'll just nip it in the bud. We'll finish Wonder Woman 84.
Hey,
we'll call it
I've got an idea for a film.
It's a fucking Joe Rogan movie.
It's going to have the worst villain you've ever seen in a superhero film. No. What do you mean, no? We're going to have two of the worst villains ever in a superhero film. That's what 84 did. It was like, yeah, we're going to give you this.
Oh, yeah, there was two. I fucking forgot because I'll watch the first beginnings of it because I love that mall scene so much.
Yeah.
Because it's everything Wonder Woman was in the 80s. It's Linda Carter doing the whole thing and she does the wink and all the right ticks. I was like, yes. And then it just goes down fucking hill. She rapes a dude. There's that.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, bones a dude, pretends it's some other dude, and then sees the original dude, the real dude's body from later in the movie. She sees him again and she doesn't say anything. She's just like, I hit that.
How weird is that whole thing?
Well, it's extremely weird.
Oh, you're back? You're back? No? Okay.
You have the lucky thing forever, right? You're already making a stupid MacGuffin. So it's like, it's not like it's that hard to say this dude's magically just Chris Pine. Not he's inhabiting somebody's body.
Yeah.
It's not the fucking Body Snatchers. You don't have to do that. You're a comic book movie. You don't have to do some weird shit like that. And it just, you don't have to do that.
Gotta set up the pump and dump.
Dude, literally pumped and dumped. And it wasn't even the dudes pumping that did the dumping.
Well, like, they also didn't do enough with, there's one particular thing that they did in the previews that it felt like it was going to be really cool, and they just didn't do enough with it. It was like, oh, they're going to take the two characters and they're going to flip-flop them. All of a sudden, Chris Pine's character is going to be a man out of time, and she's going to be like, oh, this is a garbage can.
It was abandoned real fucking quick, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was literally, this is a garbage can. Ha ha. Like in the preview, never again shall we talk about this. Like, it's like they had this opportunity where I felt like the audience that was going to see it after seeing previews had already accepted, oh yeah, so there's going to be about 20% of this film is going to be, haha, this is funny because it's him now, not her, but all the same things are happening. Like, I was on board for it. And they just abandoned that and said, well, look, we're going to do the garbage can joke. He's going to think it's art. But then she's going to gaslight a guy, totally rape him. And it's like, wait, what's going on? What did we do?
And if you're Magic Ghost Chris Pine, how are you okay with this?
Right?
You literally just know that, oh, she just boned this random guy.
And how about Chris Pine being like, yeah, it's all good. Just do your thing. No, I'm not. Like, humans are we're all about self-preservation. I'm going to say whatever I got to not get blipped out of existence. Sorry, bro.
Look. Was it Realm of Disbelief or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I was there. I was like, it's fine. I love Chris Pine. Chris Pine was great in Wonder Woman. As I said, that was one of my favorite DC movies of all time was that Wonder Woman. All you had to do was make the MacGuffin or the lucky statue or something, the Khonshu, the wish, whatever. All you had to do was make that to a point where it's like, yes, bamf him from out of time into this person's place, and that person just gets bamfed away.
Yeah.
Fuck him and his whole life. Gone. Just Chris Pine's here now. That would have been fine. I wouldn't have gave two shits about that dude's whole family and children. They're off in the nether realms now getting tortured probably. I don't care. If Chris Pine's there and you give me a reason for him to be there, cool. If not, there's no point in even having Chris Pine.
So
move on.
Does it make Wonder Woman 84 worse, or does it matter at all because the first one was good? Does it make this movie kind of, because I mean, again, tracking with the MCU, these movies other than Thor, the second Thor, but if you consider the third Thor, MCU films get progressively better. Depending on who you're talking about and what where you're looking at is better. It's weird with Iron Man because his story progresses. His story progresses through all of the team up films too. Like I feel like he's the character that they develop anytime. Like he's always being developed. He's never a side character. Yeah. But with Wonder Woman 84, it was like, hey, you've pretty much established with all the fans of the DCEU that they agree. They look at each other and go, yo, Wonder Woman was dope. Like, I think they got this back on track. All the things that irritated me, I think we're okay with, and we can go from here. What is this movie? What did they just do?
It's so weird because it's very different from anything else DCEU has. You look at Man of Steel, you look at Batman versus Superman, you look at Justice League, you look at we'll even throw Suicide Squad in there. It's nothing of those. The fabrics that are clinging aren't really there. You have it's the same person that directed the first one, directed the second one. Yeah, she wrote it too and produced it.
Which is weird.
Very strange. It's like that was an accident. You got one more movie to prove it. But that first Wonder Woman, accident. Or was the second one accident?
How did you feel about the Suicide Squads?
I kind of got a special place in my heart because I'm a music guy. I loved how the first one felt like a movie trailer for an hour and a half.
The first one, I thought it was a bad movie with a good cast that was fun to watch.
Exactly, and it's because of the music. Yeah, it's like every time you had the intro to a character, Force That Sun played for one. Then you had like fucking who's it? War comes in and it does the when the Diablo guy comes in. So you had all the music was matching all the people. It was really cool. It felt like a movie trailer. The cast was great. The movie itself, The special effects, not that great. But oddly enough, they did win an Academy Award for special effects.
Second film, I enjoyed. It was really fun. It felt like somebody watched the two Deadpool movies and they were like, yeah, let's make a DC movie. Which is fine. It's fine. I feel like there's always going to be parallels, which is funny. I'm referencing something that's not that at the time wasn't part of the MCU. So it's like, I'm not comparing it to MCU. Yeah. I feel like it borrowed from that, but did its own thing enough. It was fun enough. It was, they went all in. They kind of did like what I was saying with the Resident Evil film. Like they went all in with it. They knew it was going to be kind of goofy, and they kept you in a comic book world. They put you there. I almost think they didn't go goofy enough. They didn't go wild enough. I felt like they just kind of hung around in that middle area where they're like, we're going to keep ourselves kind of seriously so we can still access the rest of the DCU if we need to. Yeah. And then, I don't know if you watched it, but
yes, I watched it.
Yeah. That shit was good. The Peacemaker. Oh, yeah. That was fun. That was a fun show. Now, I do have one gripe with it, and this won't affect a lot of people because I don't know how many people watched it, but Peacemaker is almost note for note I'm not going to say a ripoff, but it draws so many parallels to The Tick.
Yeah.
Like very similar. The vigilante
Very
character,
much so. Yeah.
like they've got a very similar kind of thing going on. Which, man, again, talking about how like the real star of the superhero world right now is all these like one-offs, like Invincible and The Boys and stuff. The Tick was awesome, man. I don't know why I got slept on so much. It dropped 2 seasons, I think, and then just kind of like disappeared.
I had War. No, not the remake. Remake had somebody else. It had that one guy in it that played Blob.
Mhm.
I can't think of his name right now, but it wasn't bad. Wasn't a bad series. Okay, so Suicide Squad, the first one with Jared Leto Joker, not terrible. I liked it a lot. We watch it at our house on repeat. Leia loves Harley Quinn. She thinks it's super hilarious that she just does whatever the hell she wants. I'm like, it's not real life, but okay. Then we get to Suicide Squad. I love the Batman and Flash connectivity from Suicide Squad. Just having those little glimmers, that's all you need. You ain't got to have a whole fucking thing, but that scene where Batman's on top of the cop car.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn's, you ruined date night. Shooting through the hood and everything. Fantastic. Gets in the water. Harley Quinn looks like she's unconscious, pulls out a knife. He punches the shit out of her. Fantastic.
So both the Suicide Squad movies, even though they're very different from one another, and the Peacemaker show, they all really give me DC animated universe vibes. And what does DC do better than the MCU, better than Marvel? Animated films.
For sure.
Their animated stuff is it's a whole different league. Now, granted, some controversy there with ripping off some choreography and stuff. So,
oh yeah.
So I won't go too deep into it, but if you look up DC animated series fight sequence ripoffs or something, so there's a bunch of YouTube, there are a bunch of YouTube creators that they love fight choreography, so they release videos where they do fight choreography, and there's some note for note, like literally superimpose it over the top of each other, and they steal these whole fight sequences and they've used them in some of the more prominent DC animated films. And it's like,
holy cow.
It's like, okay, spin kick and an elbow. That's not really rip off until you realize spin kick to an elbow. He catches the left foot. He flips him over. The guy turns around, pulls the sword out, does a little Z motion. The dude ducks, and then he flips, and then he does a 360, kicks him in the heel. And it's literally all the exact same. It's like, you just took this. You just took this whole thing.
Damn.
And fight choreography, it's the same as acting. It's the same as writing. It's the same as a score or music. It's like, if you take it, no, but you need to, that person needs their credit. And they did not do that. And there's a now, granted, after all these YouTube videos come out and they expose them, I'm sure they don't do it anymore.
Right.
It's lazy too, because it's exactly like you've got, it's right there for you. But all that aside, that's just choreography stuff. The writing for the animated films, I never understood why you didn't just get the writers for the animated films to write the DCU movies. Which, here's one that neither of us have mentioned. We've kind of glazed over it. What are your feelings on Aquaman, the film?
I was in it until Pitbull started singing.
Then
I was like, fuck this movie.
I felt like, so.
I'll watch it. I'll watch part 2. But if you start fucking playing Pitbull in the middle of the movie, I'm leaving.
It's got a big problem in that I always feel like when you set up a reveal during the promotion for a film and you're really just waiting for that big thing, like let's say in the previews for Endgame we would have saw the hammer getting lifted but never saw whose hand it was in. We'd have been waiting for the hammer lift. We're all waiting for that anyway. Let's not get it twisted. Everybody knew it was going to happen, but still, you didn't start to put together a visual in your brain like how was Cap going to pick up the hammer, what was going to be the sequence. You really were just like, this is a thing that I'm 95% sure is going to happen because they've alluded to it and they're doing fan service. The closer it got to the moment, you're like, when's he going to do it? Is he going to do it? He's going to. Maybe he won't. He will. No, he's gonna. And then it happens. Everybody's jacked.
Mm-hmm.
They showed you Jason Momoa in the gold and green armor suit with the sweet like king trident. Why did you show us that? Why did you give us that visual when that's the reveal everybody's waiting for? So I spent that whole movie trying to enjoy it, just knowing that we were just building up to the Neo flies away at the end of the Matrix moment. You know, they didn't show of course it was original whenever it came out, but we didn't know Neo was going to fly off at the end of that movie because we had no idea about the film. But we're sitting here through Aquaman going, we know he's going to get the classic Aquaman suit with this cool upgraded version. It's going to look like armor, you know, scales, and then you go through all that film just waiting for it. So all the cool stuff just kind of was like, I liked some of the fight scenes and stuff. I thought the choreography, was it? It was a James Wan film, right?
Yeah.
So I like a lot of his choreography, so I enjoyed that. I'm not into this playing up the like, surfer dude version of Aquaman. I think it's really weird.
It is what it is. I don't totally hate it, but again, if Matrix in the third act of Matrix, if they would have jumped into fucking a Stain song or just a random like I'm trying to think of something, like if Stone Temple Pilots was doing a cover of Paint It Black or some shit and they played it in the third act of Matrix, I mean, okay, cool song, but play it at the credits, don't play it in the middle of the fucking movie. And that's my problem with the Aquaman movie, because I'm locked in, and then they do an Africa cover from Pitbull in the middle of the desert scene. And I'm like, no.
Right.
This ain't National fucking Treasure, dude. You're suspending my belief right now, because it's it was at that. I think I even vocally said something. I said, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like I was at the movie at the premiere, sitting down, watching Aquaman. Then all of a sudden he's like, he does some, I guess she does have water or some shit like that. And then all of a sudden it pans to the big vision of them walking the desert. Have you been in Africa? And Pitbull and shit singing. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, dude, just give me a movie. It's like the perfect one to pitch it on. That would be like, imagine being the music producer for there's sound design, and you're there and you're like, you know what we need? Let's put Pitbull right here at this desert sequence. And the director's like, fuck no. How about that? Like, well, they did it in Iron Man. They play AC/DC all the time.
What?
And I was like, well, I guess we'll put it in. Let's put in some Pitbull.
You know, it's a wild thing that the DCU had such a great setup for setting the standard for sound, because I don't know that I've ever been more jacked by a theme song. Like, look, take all the Avengers theme songs, all the themes from MCU films, even the AC/DC clips and stuff, all that stuff, as jacked as it gets you. Nothing in any MCU film sound-wise gets me as pumped as when Wonder Woman shows up.
It hits so hard,
dude. When that
yeah, and when she pops in every movie, it comes on too.
When that hit, it was like, that gives me chills thinking about it. Like, because it's just like it's so perfectly
it's beautiful.
Whoever wrote that, I mean, come on.
That shot of Gal is like, looking up like that with that fucking shield. Then she moves so fucking fast, and she's that
sound always. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Dragon Ball Z, but that sound when she shows up always reminded me of the Cell music. Oh, there you go, very familiar. That so when Cell comes on the screen and I still get pumped hearing it to this day. I'm just like, because it's just, somebody's like, hey, we need a sound. What kind of sound? When people hear it, we want them to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that whoever's theme this is about to fuck up everybody that this theme is not for. And you feel that. It's like, and then they go, all right, what are we going to do in the next film? Well, we're doing Aquaman. I guess we get Pitbull.
Yeah, Pitbull's good right now. He'll be on the soundtrack if we want to do that.
That's going to really detract. I mean, we just did a great thing with the Wonder Woman theme. It's not really a theme. They're just walking through the desert. Oh, so it's really trivial and dumb. So you're going to be really focused on the music. So maybe we shouldn't do something that's ridiculous. Damn it. I already submitted it. So.
Oh, so disappointed.
Mr. 305.
Mr. 305. Mr. 105. Here we go. We in the desert.
Which is the craziest thing about it is I don't have like Pitbull records. I'm not like jamming Pitbull, but I like the dude. He doesn't belong there. That's not where we need you to show up, Pitbull.
No, of all movies, also that's not the one. Like when you think Pitbull, Mr. Miami, let's put him in the desert. Like no, you should have went with DJ Snake or like some DJ cut would have been fine. You could have got Calvin Harris. He ain't doing shit. You could have got anybody, dude. And who'd you go with? Fucking Pitbull. And not just Pitbull, it's a Pitbull cover song of Weezer. Just get Weezer. Anyway, fuck that part of the movie. But the rest of it, it's not bad. CG Fest at the end. Half the fish people look terrible. Aquaman looks pretty good. And the main guy that they put a helmet on because it's easier to CG, that looked okay.
I liked their fight, like the weight of that fight, like just how it was choreographed.
And the way it looked, the underwater stuff was really neat. I like what they did there.
Again, a lot that could have been a top tier DCU movie, and then they just kind of phoned it in for a lot of it. It was like, yeah, that was cool.
Black Manta looked amazing.
Yeah,
that was a picture perfect Black Manta. Good job on that. And your Aquaman looked good for what it was. In this next movie, if you want to get like, I don't know, Dolph Lundgren or somebody like that. Wasn't he already in this one?
He was in it.
Yeah. If y'all can get him back to do some more fish stuff, I'll be okay with that.
So here's like the wild thing for me, right? So the MCU, there's films that I'm not a big fan of Thor the Dark World. I'm not a huge fan of we talked about earlier, Iron Man 3.
Christmas movie.
There's some things here and there. There's like 3 or 4 movies that I don't love. I didn't love the second Ant-Man. It was all right. So I'm very here and there about a few. But to experience the whole thing over again, which I have, my wife decided to start watching MCU films at Captain Marvel. So we had to binge watch it from the beginning because there was only a few weeks before.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
So we crushed through that. I didn't dread watching The Incredible Hulk again. I didn't dread watching Iron Man 3 again. I was like,
Incredible Hulk was good.
I loved it.
Dude, me and Logan watched that. He's like, I like this Hulk way better than the new Hulk.
Okay, so good. This isn't a... It's almost like I would usually say hot take, but it's not a hot take because we might agree here. I greatly prefer Ed Norton's Bruce Banner to Mark Ruffalo. I feel like, and I enjoyed Mark Ruffalo in Avengers. I thought he was good. He did well. They started to slowly play he started to play up the character as, instead of reserved because he knows what he's capable of, they started to play him as a pussy. Like,
a little bit.
I'm like, wait, why are you making him a wuss? He's not a wuss. And if you go watch the old series, the old Incredible Hulk series, it never felt like the Bruce Banner character was like, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, and I'm pretty scared about being angry. It was, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry because I will shit all over you. Like, right. It was like I'm terrifying and I'll wreck shit, and I know this. He wasn't this coy scientist. He was a confident scientist. He was a knowledgeable dude, and he could be the Hulk. And I felt like that's how Edward Norton played him. He played him very matter-of-factly, like the accomplished scientist he was, like the person with the body of work he had. And he happened to be able to turn into a big smash machine. And then he left for whatever reason. Oh, you want to talk about things I would like to see get another shot? I want to see the disagreements that led to him leaving the franchise. What was the second Hulk going to look like? What was the writing? Because he wanted to rewrite a lot of the Incredible Hulk film. Like, he had a lot of notes for that, and they turned him away. They told Edward Norton that they're going to take his notes. His only reason for taking the film, one of his only caveats was like, hey, I want to be able to give actors notes. I want some input. And then they kind of left that on the cutting room floor and double crossed him, essentially. I'd love to see what he would have done with the character. And another person, who's your favorite MCU villain? Mine's almost super obvious because I'm even posing the question.
I really lean. Well, there's two. If I'm going supervillains, well, if you're posing the question, I'm guessing Red Skull. No? Baron Zemo?
My favorite MCU villain is Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah Stane.
I love that he is a villain by choice. I love that he had it in his hands. He was a wealthy man. He had friends. He had fame. He had power.
Yeah.
He had influence. He had everything. He wanted more of what he already had.
Yeah.
He didn't. There was
villain.
Yeah, it's true evil. There's no point. So again, to me, it's the problem with MCU villains. Every one of them, there's something about them. Everyone but Obadiah. There's something about him that you're like, he's kind of got a point. Even the terrible piece of shit in Ant-Man, even that guy, it's like he kind of had a point. He went very badly about doing it, but he was kind of like, this technology needs to be nurtured and the world should have access to it. And then he went crazy which kind of gives him an out. Using the suit kind of made that dude go crazy, right? They go into that. Stane is the only one that was of sound mind, not only of sound mind and had power.
Abomination too, though.
Yeah.
He was full on just killing folks.
But didn't they?
He shot his dog.
Yeah, didn't they kind of like use him as a bit of a pawn while he was human though?
No, he was all about it.
Yeah.
He signed up for it. He was already a killer.
Well, again, we're in a movie that I love that gets a lot of shit. So I can agree with that too. I enjoyed that character. But
he's like, I want what he had.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I want more. And then he literally, when he wouldn't give him any more, he went to the actual doctor and stole his shit. And then they almost set up Leader right there by getting the cut on his head, and his head started growing.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much more that should have happened with that.
Here's going back to this real quick. Here's how I explained it to my kid. So I was like, okay, this is how I make sense of it, because we have what we have now. So that Hulk, Edward Norton's Hulk, was like an unfiltered. Is it midnight?
It is.
Ooh.
My wife just said, "Can you bring some waters upstairs?" I'm not even home, baby.
Well, there you go, folks. We're gonna cut it short, but we'll come back. We'll have to.
I am the worst MCU villain, or I might be the worst MCU husband.
Look, hey, that was the show. Thanks, Mom, for watching.
He said, "Is it midnight?"
Holy shit.